Hello, this is Dave at AFX Search, licensed investigators and fraud investigators. The most recent fraud that we're seeing that's kind of expanding is what's called eBay triangulation. What does that mean? Well, this is a case where somebody's selling products on eBay that they don't own, and they use a stolen credit card to buy them, and they ship them to you, possibly the seller. It creates liability for both the seller, for the person with the credit card, and also for any merchants that are being victimized by these stolen credit cards. Here's how it might work. Somebody has, let's say, an iPad on eBay that they're selling. They may not own the iPad. They don't have one to sell. They sell it. The buyer puts in their PayPal information. Their PayPal information goes to the seller and it's paid for. The seller is a fraudster. They have a stolen credit card. They're going to take that stolen credit card, go to Apple's website or an authorized retailer's website. They're going to order an iPad. They're going to put in your name as the buyer as the shipping information. The stolen credit card will buy that item. It gets shipped to a second address, and then the seller receives the funds. They don't have to put out any money to buy the product. The buyer basically gets a stolen product. In fact, in some cases, the item may not get shipped, but if it is shipped, it's going to be shipped to an address that will be identified with fraud. So you may have difficulty ordering things, shipping to the address later. You may even have law enforcement come to your house as a buyer to investigate this fraud. Technically, you didn't do anything wrong as a buyer, but there was a fraud which occurred that you received goods or property from, and there may be a claim to try to get that shipped back. As an innocent third-party buyer, you may not have liability, but it may be something that you get contact from, either from the merchant or from law enforcement, to investigate it. It's expanded because it's a good way for a fraudster to kind of launder a stolen credit card value. They don't actually have to buy something for themselves. They can get your money into a PayPal account, send it off to a buyer that may not have any connection to the crime. The real victim in this case could be either the bank, if the credit card is withdrawn or the payment authorization is withdrawn, or the merchant if they've shipped out product and they don't get payment for it. So if you're a merchant, let's say you're selling a $600 iPad and you send it out, and then all of a sudden that credit card charge is disputed, you have that iPad that's gone and no payment for it. So keep an eye on eBay purchases that you're looking at to make sure that the seller is legitimate, to make sure they have good feedback, to make sure that the other parts of that sale match up. You have good phone numbers, good email addresses, and if there's any question that the item is being drop shipped, let's say it's being shipped from a third party, from a merchant, make sure that the amount that it was paid for at that merchant is at least what you paid for. Sometimes you get a product that you pay $600 for, but from that merchant somebody paid $800 for it. It makes no sense, and that may be an indication of eBay triangulation. It's a big time fraud. It's something that we're working with, investigating a couple of them right now, and we try to get to the bottom of it to find out where that credit card was stolen from. It may have been a recent purchase at a grocery store, at a restaurant, even an online merchant where somebody at that merchant got that credit card number, maybe an employee, and was using it to buy other stuff for their eBay account. That's why we look for the source of the breach, so that the person whose credit card number was stolen can find out where that threat came from. In some cases, we're finding the eBay account has been hacked, so the actual seller may not even know that their account is being used for this fraud. So if you're a victim of eBay triangulation, give us a call. afxsearch.com is the website. We'd be glad to hear from you to see how this might match some other cases we're working on, and maybe find the source of the fraud on your case.